Did you really choose what gives you pleasure? Or did you just learn to like what keeps you trapped? We live in an age where pleasure has become a moral argument. If it makes you feel good, then it's valid. If it makes you happy, then it's right. This seductive narrative feeds the idea that seeking pleasure is a sign of personal freedom. But this is a sophisticated trap. What appears to be autonomy is often conditioning. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss reflections that transform the way you see life. Aldous Huxley already predicted this in Brave New World. He showed a future where people would not need to be forced to obey. It would be enough to make them comfortable. No pain, no conflict, no questioning, just pleasure. A world that does not oppress with violence, but with sedation. And this prediction did not remain in fiction. Today, pleasure is the new social remote control. The algorithm already knows what keeps you hooked. Short videos, notifications, fast food, accessible sex, instant rewards. Everything calibrated to keep you engaged and distracted. The trap is in the comfort. When pleasure becomes an end in itself, it dissolves the will. You no longer want to grow, understand, or change. Just repeat, feel again. And when that happens, freedom goes away. Because true freedom includes the ability to say no to what is easy. It includes discomfort, doubt, and sometimes even pain. But no one wants to hear that. It's much more comfortable to believe that following pleasure is living well. But what seems like autonomy may just be domestication. And the more you run from pain, the more easily you will be controlled by anyone who promises you effortless pleasure. Deep down, the pleasure you call freedom may just be an invisible leash. And the more you pull, the tighter it gets. Have you ever noticed that the less you question, the more life seems to work for you? This is one of the most sophisticated mechanisms of modern slavery, rewarding passivity with small doses of pleasure. The current system, schools, social media, jobs, the media, has been designed to reward those who adapt without resistance, those who do what they are told, who consume what is offered, who remain silent when something bothers them. It's a silent trade. You give up your critical conscience and in return you receive comfort. Psychological, social, digital comfort. This creates a pattern. The more you avoid the effort of reflection, the more rewards you receive. But there is a high price behind this trade. The system doesn't need to oppress you. It just needs to convince you that questioning is uncomfortable and that obeying is practical. Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone encouraged to step outside their comfort zone without being ridiculed or isolated? Passivity has become a modern virtue. Don't rock the boat. Don't think too much. Just enjoy yourself. This advice, disguised as wisdom, hides a brutal logic. The more you ignore, the more easily you will be molded. And why does this work so well? Because the human brain is designed to conserve energy. Thinking is hard work. Choosing requires sacrifice. Questioning causes conflict. So when the system offers easy rewards for automatic behaviors, it wins by exhaustion. Those who stay awake, alert, curious, become a threat, because seeing the game forces you to play differently. And playing differently is everything the system doesn't want. It needs predictable pieces, not conscious players. But there is one crucial detail. The pleasure the system offers you is not freedom. It is anesthesia. It does not nourish you. It only distracts you. And while you think you are enjoying life, you are only avoiding the discomfort of truly living. Two visions. Two dystopian futures. One destination. Absolute control. George Orwell in 1984 warned us about an oppressive regime where everything is monitored, everything is censored, and fear is the main tool of domination. A world of punishment, psychological torture, direct repression, a state that rules through pain. Aldous Huxley, on the other hand, in Brave New World, gave us a more subtle and perhaps more dangerous nightmare. A world where no one needs to be forced, because everyone is too satisfied to resist. No pain, no fear, only pleasure, distraction, and superficiality. The central question is, which one won? Today, cameras are not just on the streets. They are in your pockets, in your habits, in your clicks. But what holds you back is not the fear of punishment. It is the comfort of reward. It is not the cry of an authoritarian big brother. It is the seductive whisper of an algorithm that knows more about you than you do yourself. Orwell feared a world where books would be banned. Huxley predicted something worse, a world where no one would want to read anymore. Orwell feared control of information. Huxley understood that an excess of irrelevant information would suffocate any truth. Orwell spoke of pain as a prison. Huxley revealed pleasure as a cell. And this is where the alarm bells ring. We are living in Huxley's dystopia and thinking it's progress. We celebrate freedom while being led by prefabricated stimuli. We call choice what has already been chosen for us. We applaud our own domestication. You no longer need to be watched 24 hours a day. You expose yourself voluntarily. You no longer need to be censored. You only consume what entertains you. There is no need to burn books. Just offer distractions sweeter than knowledge. The modern dictatorship does not wear a uniform. It comes disguised as a feed, a trend, pleasure. It does not shout orders. It seduces you with suggestions. You're not tired. You're overstimulated. And that changes everything. Dopamine is the name of the game. This neurotransmitter, which regulates motivation and reward, has become the target of all major modern platforms, products, and promises. Every notification, every click, every like, every new addictive series, everything is designed to trigger more dopamine, more desire, more consumption, more dependence. The problem? The more you expose yourself to these stimuli, the less sensitive you become to them. This creates the perfect cycle. You feel less pleasure, so you need more stimulation. And so you repeat behaviors you don't even enjoy anymore, just to feel something. This isn't leisure, it's addiction. Before, you needed real experiences to feel pleasure. Today, all you have to do is swipe your finger, and that reprograms your brain. It replaces effort with instant reward. It kills patience. It nullifies depth. You no longer want to read a book. You want a 30-second summary. You don't want to talk. You want a quick message with an emoji. You don't want to build. You want immediate gratification. This constant bombardment of dopamine no longer gives you freedom. It gives you anxiety, chronic dissatisfaction, an endless search for something that never comes. And the more you search, the more you lose yourself, because what you seek has already been hijacked. Your attention, your will, your time. Huxley had already predicted it. The modern man does not cry for freedom. He begs for distraction. And that's exactly what we see today. People who are tired but unable to stop, full of options but without purpose, saturated with stimuli but emotionally numb. Dopamine has become an invisible chain. You think you're choosing, but you're just reacting. Reacting to stimuli that someone else has created to keep you running in the cage. And the more you run, the more tired you get, without getting anywhere. You think you're relaxing, but maybe you're just being trained not to think. Entertainment, in its original form, was a space for rest and expression. Art, music, theater, all of these could expand the mind. But today, what we call entertainment is for the most part just a distraction machine. It doesn't elevate you. It numbs you. We live in a barrage of superficial stimuli. Endless series, short videos, looping memes, addictive reality shows. They all promise you quick relief, a momentary escape. But deep down, what they offer is numbness, a mental shutdown that seems harmless, but is deeply strategic. And worst of all, you become an accomplice. Because a tired brain prefers distraction to reflection, and the system knows it. It doesn't need to convince you to obey. It just needs to entertain you enough so that you never stop to question. This is high-level alienation. It's no longer the state banning books or controlling information. It's the individual choosing not to think, choosing continuous distraction over lucidity. You are no longer prevented from seeking the truth. You're just too stimulated to care about it. Modern entertainment is not just a pastime. It is a strategy for collective sedation. And the scariest thing is that it works better the more sophisticated it seems. Series with complex scripts, reality shows with intelligent debates, influencers with self-awareness speeches. All of this may just be another form of distraction, packaged with a veneer of depth. The question remains, when was the last time you were bored and endured it? Because boredom is fertile ground for consciousness. But the system is terrified of this space. It needs to keep you busy, stimulated, entertained. Because the day you stop to think, the game is over. 3 pleasures, 3 addictions, an entire system sustained by your compulsion. Sex, food, and digital validation. These are the emotional pillars of our dopamine-fueled society. They are accessible, immediate, and socially acceptable. You can immerse yourself in any of them without raising suspicion. On the contrary, it will even seem normal. Let's start with sex. It has never been easier to access sexual stimuli, and desire has never been so empty. Apps, pornography, nudes, sensual content disguised as lifestyle, all calibrated to generate excitement without connection. Intimacy has become performance. Desire has become addiction. You no longer seek someone else. You seek the next chemical rush. Then, there's food. Processed, visually appealing, emotionally comforting. We don't eat because we need to. We eat because we're anxious, sad, bored. Food has become emotional relief, no longer nutrition. And those who profit from this aren't the cooks. It's the artificial flavor labs that keep you hungry for more. Finally, likes, the new social drug. A notification triggers dopamine. A comment activates validation. A new follower feeds the ego. The digital soul lives for invisible applause. But each round of applause lasts only seconds. Then comes the emptiness, and the cycle begins again. These three pillars work together. You eat poorly, feel guilty, seek distraction in sex or your feed. Then you feel lonely, go back to eating, or post something to get recognition. But it's all a circular motion. It spins a lot but doesn't go anywhere. An emotional hamster addicted to quick stimulation and momentary relief. The engineering behind it all is cold and precise. It's no coincidence that the most viewed content, the best-selling products, the most profitable services, revolve around these three anchors. They don't empower you. They consume you while you think you're having fun. And in the midst of it all, the obvious question is almost never asked. Who would you be without these three pleasures filling your void every day? You think you are desiring freely, but maybe you are just following an imposed script. We live in an era where the body is no longer a temple. It is a showcase. And desire, which was once an intimate expression, has become a marketing tool. You are both consumer and product. You desire artificially molded bodies and try to sell yours with filters and rehearsed angles. Social media, advertising, pornography, fitness, fashion, everything revolves around a relentless logic. The idealized body is capital. If you get close to it, you gain attention, status, validation. If you fall outside the norm, you feel guilt, shame, and an urgent need to change. But this change is never internal. It is marketable. Procedures, supplements, workout plans, editing apps. Pleasure here is no longer connection or discovery. It's comparison. It's performance. It's a silent competition to see who is most desired, most liked, most sexually valued. And in this game, desire ceases to be spontaneous. It becomes manipulated. You don't feel desire. You feel the need for approval. This is the new slavery. Programmed desire. You think you are choosing what you like, but you are only reacting to what the system has taught you to find beautiful, exciting, acceptable. Desire becomes social currency. And if you are not desired, you feel like you are out of the game. And what happens when the body becomes a product? It needs to be constantly improving, always available, always optimized. This creates chronic anxiety, dysmorphia, obsession with appearance, and at the same time, a growing superficiality in relationships. The other person ceases to be a person. They become a showcase too. Swipe, like, match. Nothing deeper than an image. This logic destroys the soul from within, because while you pretend to have sexual freedom and aesthetic autonomy, you are just being pushed by algorithms and invisible pressures. Everything you think you want may just be what you have been conditioned to want. You are not anxious because you have a lot to do. You are anxious because you feel that nothing you do has any real meaning. Anxiety has become the evil of the century, but not by chance. It is the symptom of an existence that has lost its depth. When everything is fast, disposable, immediate, time ceases to be an experience and becomes just a clock counting down. You wake up already running after something, but you don't even know exactly what. The excess of immediate pleasure is one of the main reasons for this. When you live in search of stimuli, you end up numbing the most important part of the human experience, consciousness. And consciousness does not disappear, it screams. And that scream is often anxiety. You may have everything around you working: food, sex, distractions, social media, people. But inside, something is always missing. An emptiness that you try to fill with more stimulation, more speed, more consumption. But the more you run, the further you get from the source of the whole. Anxiety in this scenario is your body trying to warn you that something is out of whack, that living on dopamine-fueled autopilot comes at a cost, that ignoring deep questions in exchange for superficial comfort takes a silent but devastating toll. It's like living in a house with beautiful walls and neon lights, but with cracks in the foundation. The system offers you pleasure as a quick fix, but it doesn't fix the structure, and you keep smiling on the outside while imploding on the inside. And the most ironic part? Most of today's solutions for anxiety are just more forms of distraction. More content, more quick fixes, more mental hacks. Nothing that forces you to stop, breathe, and really face yourself, because that hurts. And the current system is an expert at avoiding pain, even if it costs you your sanity. So maybe it's time to accept an uncomfortable truth. Anxiety is not your enemy. It may be the last sign that you are still alive and trying to wake up. Real freedom is not doing what you want. It is knowing what to avoid, even when everything in you screams for pleasure. We live surrounded by choices, but we rarely make any real ones, because choosing means giving something up. It means saying no to what is easy, quick, and comfortable, and that hurts. Most people prefer the anesthesia of passivity to the discomfort of awareness, but true freedom requires exactly that. Pain. Not physical pain, but the existential pain of leaving the herd, of stopping following automatic stimuli, of starting to listen to what is really screaming inside you, and not what the system screams outside. Choosing discomfort means accepting that you can't keep doping yourself with pleasure and searching for meaning at the same time. They are opposite paths. While immediate pleasure distracts you, discomfort confronts you. While comfort accommodates you, pain awakens you. That's why almost no one wants to be truly free. Because freedom includes responsibility. It includes giving up superficial euphoria in exchange for a deeper and lonelier sobriety. It includes being seen as strange, radical, even arrogant. Because most people don't understand those who have decided to leave the cave. But that's the crossroads. Either you continue to numb yourself and live in peace with the illusion, or you start to break the invisible chains and face the void head-on. That's where awakening begins. Not in artificial motivation, but in the silent pain of those who are tired of being led. This freedom is uncomfortable, yes. It requires effort, yes. But it has something that instant pleasure will never offer: clarity. And when you finally see the game, a new question begins to arise. Could it be that the discomfort you avoid so much is precisely the path to your liberation? There comes a point when continuing to dope yourself with pleasure is no longer comfort, it's cowardice. Everything we've seen so far points to a brutal truth. The constant pursuit of pleasure is destroying us from within while we smile on the outside. Huxley was not wrong. We are living in a sweet dictatorship where pleasure has replaced prison, but the prison still exists, only now it is voluntary. True freedom doesn't come when you can do everything you want. It begins when you stop being a slave to what silently controls you, to easy stimulation, to accepted addiction, to superficial validation, to automatic habits. And for that, there is only one path: detoxification. Detoxing is not becoming a monk. It is having the courage to stay sober in the middle of the party, to sit in the void and listen to what really beats there, to be without stimulation, and endure the silence. Because it is in that silence that your autonomy reappears. You will not regain your clarity while living for the next notification. You won't find purpose if every discomfort is numbed with food, sex, or distraction. You won't reconnect with yourself as long as you continue to serve pleasure as if it were your god. The turnaround is simple but profound. Stop seeking pleasure as a refuge and start seeking presence as a foundation. Trade quick relief for permanent lucidity. Choose awareness even if it comes with pain, because in the end it's not pleasure that destroys you, it's your dependence on it. It's when it becomes an escape. It's when you can no longer exist without a digital reward, an external stimulus, an instant response. Huxley warned us, the future would be too sweet to awaken resistance. But maybe now is the time to spit out that sweetness, look into the eyes of emptiness, and say, I'm not running anymore. If this content made sense to you, like the video and share it with someone who needs to wake up. Leave your thoughts or experiences with this topic in the comments. It may inspire others to break the cycle.